On the parking ramp, the marshaller and his wing walkers are the eyes of the C-5. It is their job to position the aircraft on the parking spot, and they must, at all times, use standard hand signals. Even before engines are shut down, ground crews move under the aircraft to insert gear pins and install chocks. This is a particularly hazardous time for ground crews. When she's blocking in or blocking out, everyone around or near the C-5 faces a serious noise problem. With her auxiliary power units, air turbine motors, and her engine still running, she's a real screamer. Don't ever underestimate this noise hazard. We can't record it for you nearly as loud as it is. Not nearly. But here's a quick sample. Now multiply that by 10. Earplugs or earmuffs should be worn during all ground operations. In specific areas, both earplugs and earmuffs must be worn to prevent possible loss of hearing. The most dangerous of these noise areas is the right wheel well when the low-pressure turbo compressor gins up as much as 106 decibels. She has hot spots too. The exhaust from that turbo compressor can be 300 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll have to learn to work fast and carefully in that area. Even hotter, much hotter, are the exhausts from either of those two APUs. Their exhaust can reach 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Stay away from them, way away from them. What about those jet engines? Well, surprisingly enough, for their size, the heat danger to ground crews from the engines is not the worst C-5 hazard. Now, we're talking about the heat hazard, aren't we? We're not talking about the jet blast hazard. Now, that's far more dangerous. We'll talk about that in a minute. Sure, the engines are hot, but at idle power, 50 feet behind any one of them, the exhaust temperature drops to 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, noise and heat are only two kinds of hazards around the C-5. Even with all power off, there are certain physical hazards that you should be aware of. When you're going up or down that crew access ladder, watch it. Keep one hand on the guardrail all the way. If you don't, you could be one step from the end of your Air Force career. She's so big, you can walk right under her. And you can also gash your head on that VHF antenna. Here's something else. Behind this panel is the ram air turbine. It's not supposed to deploy on the ground. But if it does deploy, it will drop out with more than enough force to kill a man. If you have to walk or climb around on her, watch your footing. She's as big as some apartment houses. And it's a long way to the ground.